Everyone is talking about calories when it comes to belly fat, but almost no one is talking about what protein actually does inside your body. And this is where everything starts to change. Because when you begin to understand how protein works internally, you realize that fat loss is not just about eating less, it's about sending the right signals to your body. When you eat the right types of protein, something happens that most people don't expect. Your hunger begins to shift. Your metabolism responds differently, and your body starts handling fat in a completely new way. Right now, I want you to do something simple. Put your hand on your stomach, that area that just doesn't seem to go away. No matter how careful you are, no matter how many diets you try, it stays. That stubborn belly fat is not random. It's controlled by powerful internal signals. Signals like insulin, leptin, and GLP-1. These hormones decide whether your body stores fat or burns it. And if they are even slightly out of balance, your body will hold on to fat, even if you're eating less. That's why so many people feel stuck. But here's the turning point. When you start bringing in the right proteins, you naturally influence these signals. You're not forcing your body to lose fat. You're simply allowing it to work the way it was designed to. And once that happens, everything begins to shift. Let's break it down in a simple and powerful way. The first protein source is eggs. Eggs are incredibly powerful because they contain leucine, an amino acid that plays a key role in activating muscle growth. But there's something even more important happening behind the scenes. Eggs help stabilize your blood sugar. When your blood sugar stays stable, your insulin levels remain controlled. And insulin is one of the main hormones responsible for fat storage. When insulin is high, your body is in storage mode. But when it's balanced, your body can finally access stored fat for energy. So by simply including eggs in your diet, especially in the morning, you're already setting the stage for fat loss. Now let's talk about Greek yogurt. This goes beyond just protein. It directly supports your gut health, and your gut plays a much bigger role than most people realize. Your gut helps produce GLP-1, a hormone that controls appetite and reduces cravings. So when your gut is healthy, your hunger becomes easier to manage. You're not constantly thinking about food. You're not fighting cravings all day long. Instead, your body naturally guides you to eat less without feeling deprived. Next is wild salmon. This is one of the most effective proteins because it's rich in omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats improve insulin sensitivity, which means your body becomes better at using nutrients instead of storing them as fat. When your body becomes efficient like this, fat loss becomes easier and more natural. Then we have cottage cheese, one of the most underrated foods, especially at night. Cottage cheese contains a slow-digesting protein called casein. This protein feeds your muscles gradually over several hours. While you sleep, your body is still active. It's repairing, rebuilding, and regulating hormones. When you give your body slow-digesting protein at night, you support this process. You help preserve muscle, reduce unnecessary fat storage, and keep your metabolism working even while you rest. Now let's move to lentils. This is where things really become powerful. Lentils combine protein with fiber, and that combination changes everything. Fiber slows down digestion. It prevents sudden spikes in blood sugar. It keeps you feeling full for longer periods of time. So instead of constantly snacking or craving sugar, your energy stays stable. Your hunger stays under control. And when that happens, fat loss becomes consistent. Next is lean chicken. Simple, effective, and extremely powerful. Lean chicken increases thermogenesis. That means your body burns more calories just digesting it. This might seem small, but over time it adds up. Every meal becomes an opportunity to burn more energy instead of storing it. And finally, whey protein. Whey protein is fast absorbing, which makes it perfect for quickly influencing your hunger hormones. It sends signals to your brain that you are full and satisfied. This reduces overeating and helps you stay in control without feeling restricted. But here's something most people completely overlook. It's not just what you eat, it's when you eat it. Timing plays a major role in how your body responds. When you start your day with protein, you stabilize your blood sugar early. This sets the tone for the entire day. You experience fewer cravings. You avoid energy crashes. You stay more focused and in control. And when you include the right protein at night, especially something slow digesting like cottage cheese, you support your body while it recovers and resets. So instead of constantly trying to follow complicated diets or extreme restrictions, you're doing something much smarter. You're working with your body. You're giving it the signals it needs to function properly. And this is where real transformation begins. Not overnight, not instantly, but consistently. You'll start to notice that your hunger becomes easier to manage. Your energy levels become more stable. Your cravings begin to fade. And that stubborn belly fat, the one that felt impossible to lose, finally starts responding. This is the difference between forcing results and allowing results. So don't try to change everything at once. Start simple. Pick one of these protein sources. Add it to your daily routine. Stay consistent. Because once your internal signals start working in your favor, everything becomes easier. Fat loss stops feeling like a struggle and starts becoming a natural result of how your body works. Everyone is talking about calories when it comes to belly fat, but almost no one is paying attention to what is actually happening inside the body when you eat protein. And that's where the real transformation begins. Most people are stuck in the mindset that fat loss is just about eating less and moving more, but the truth is much deeper than that. Your body is not a simple calculator. It's a complex system driven by hormones, signals, and internal communication that constantly determines whether you store fat or burn it. And one of the most powerful ways to influence that system is through the type and quality of protein you consume. When you start eating the right kinds of protein, something very interesting happens. Your hunger begins to change. It's not just about feeling full for a short period of time, but about actually reducing the intensity of cravings that usually control your eating habits. This happens because protein directly affects hormones like ghrelin, which is responsible for hunger, and leptin, which signals fullness. When these hormones are balanced, you don't feel the constant urge to snack or overeat. Instead, you feel naturally satisfied, which makes it much easier to stay consistent without forcing yourself. At the same time, your metabolism starts to respond differently. Protein has a much higher thermic effect compared to fats and carbohydrates, meaning your body uses more energy just to digest and process it. This might seem like a small detail, but over time it creates a noticeable difference. Every time you eat protein, your body is actually working harder, burning more calories in the process. This turns your meals into opportunities for fat burning instead of fat storage. But the real shift happens at the hormonal level, especially with insulin. Insulin is one of the most important hormones when it comes to fat storage. When insulin levels are constantly elevated due to frequent spikes in blood sugar, your body stays in storage mode. It doesn't matter how much you try to cut calories. If insulin is high, your body resists burning fat. Protein helps stabilize blood sugar, which keeps insulin levels under control. And when insulin is balanced, your body finally gets the signal that it's safe to start using stored fat for energy. This is why so many people feel frustrated when traditional dieting doesn't work. They focus only on reducing calories without addressing the internal signals that control fat storage. As a result, they feel hungry, low on energy, and eventually give up. But when protein becomes a central part of your nutrition, the entire experience changes. You're no longer fighting against your body. You're working with it. Another powerful effect of protein is its ability to preserve and build lean muscle. This is critical because muscle is metabolically active tissue, meaning it burns calories even when you're at rest. The more lean muscle you have, the higher your resting metabolic rate becomes. Protein provides the amino acids your body needs to repair and maintain muscle, especially during weight loss. Without enough protein, your body may break down muscle instead of fat, which slows down your metabolism and makes fat loss even harder. There is also a strong connection between protein intake and long-term consistency. One of the biggest challenges people face is sticking to a healthy routine. When your meals leave you unsatisfied, it becomes very difficult to maintain discipline. But protein changes that by increasing satiety and stabilizing energy levels. Instead of experiencing sharp highs and crashes throughout the day, you feel more steady and in control. This makes it easier to make better choices without relying on willpower alone. Your brain is also affected in a positive way. Protein influences neurotransmitters that regulate mood and focus. When your brain is properly fueled, you're less likely to make impulsive food decisions driven by stress or emotions. This creates a powerful cycle where better nutrition leads to better decisions, and better decisions lead to better decisions lead to better results. What makes this approach even more effective is that it doesn't require extreme restrictions or complicated rules. You don't have to eliminate entire food groups or follow unrealistic diets. Instead, you focus on adding something beneficial, high-quality protein, and allowing it to naturally guide your eating patterns. Over time, this small shift creates a big impact. Consistency becomes easier because you're not constantly battling hunger or cravings. Your energy improves, your focus sharpens, and your body begins to respond in a way that feels sustainable. This is what real transformation looks like. Not quick fixes or temporary results, but gradual and lasting change that comes from aligning your habits with how your body actually works. When you understand this, you stop chasing shortcuts and start building a foundation that supports long-term health. Protein is not just another nutrient. It's a key player in how your body regulates hunger, metabolism, and fat storage. And once you begin to prioritize it, you'll notice that everything else starts to fall into place more naturally than you ever expected. When you begin to look beyond just Proto-A and as a number on a label and start understanding its deeper role in your body, you realize that it's not only about building muscle or feeling full, but about influencing systems that control your appetite, digestion, and overall fat metabolism. One of the most overlooked areas where protein creates a powerful impact is your gut, and this is where things start to become even more interesting. Your gut is not just responsible for digesting food. It acts almost like a control center that communicates with your brain and regulates many important hormones. Among these hormones is GLP, one which plays a key role in controlling appetite and reducing cravings. When your gut is functioning properly, it produces signals that tell your brain you've had enough food, helping you naturally stop eating without feeling deprived. This is one of the reasons why some people can eat moderate portions and feel satisfied, while others struggle with constant hunger even after large meals. Certain protein-rich foods, especially those that support gut health like yogurt, help create a better environment for beneficial bacteria in your digestive system. These bacteria play a role in improving how your body processes nutrients and how effectively it sends hunger and fullness signals. When your gut is balanced, your relationship with food begins to change. You're no longer driven by uncontrolled cravings or emotional eating patterns, but instead guided by real physical signals of hunger and satisfaction. At the same time, combining protein with other nutrients like fiber creates an even stronger effect. Foods such as lentils are a perfect example because they provide both protein and fiber in a single source. This combination slows down digestion, which means glucose is released into your bloodstream more gradually. As a result, your blood sugar stays stable, avoiding the spikes and crashes that often lead to fatigue, irritability, and sudden cravings for sugary or high-calorie foods. When your blood sugar is stable, your energy levels also become more consistent throughout the day. Instead of experiencing those midday crashes that make you reach for quick snacks or caffeine, you feel steady and focused. This stability is not just about comfort, it directly impacts your ability to make better food choices. When you're not constantly battling low energy or sudden hunger, you're far more likely to stick to a healthy routine without feeling overwhelmed. Another important aspect is how protein improves insulin sensitivity. When your body becomes more sensitive to insulin, it can use glucose more efficiently for energy instead of storing it as fat. This is especially important for reducing stubborn belly fat, which is often linked to poor insulin function. Foods like fish that contain healthy fats alongside protein help enhance this process, making your body more effective at managing nutrients. There's also a timing component that plays a critical role in how protein affects your body. When you consume protein earlier in the day, especially during your first meal, it sets a strong metabolic tone. Starting your day with protein helps reduce hunger later on and minimizes the chances of overeating in the evening. This happens because your body experiences fewer fluctuations in blood sugar, and your hunger hormones remain more balanced. On the other hand, consuming the right type of protein in the evening supports your body in a completely different way. During sleep, your body enters a repair and recovery mode. This is when muscle tissues are rebuilt and important metabolic processes are carried out. Slow digesting proteins provide a steady release of amino acids during this time, ensuring that your body has the resources it needs to maintain muscle and prevent unnecessary breakdown. Maintaining muscle is crucial because it directly affects your metabolism. When muscle mass is preserved, your body continues to burn more calories even at rest. This means that even while you're sleeping, your body is working more efficiently compared to someone with lower muscle mass. Over time, this creates a significant difference in how easily you can lose fat and maintain your results. Another benefit that often goes unnoticed is how protein helps reduce late-night cravings. Many people struggle with eating at night, not because they are truly hungry, but because their body is trying to compensate for poor nutrition earlier in the day. When your meals are balanced with enough protein, especially throughout the day, those cravings naturally decrease. You don't feel the urge to snack unnecessarily because your body has already received what it needs. This approach also removes the feeling of restriction that often comes with dieting. Instead of constantly telling yourself what you cannot eat, you focus on adding foods that support your body. This shift in mindset is powerful because it turns healthy eating into something positive rather than something you have to endure. Over time, this makes consistency feel natural instead of forced. As your body adapts to these changes, you begin to notice subtle but meaningful improvements. Your digestion feels smoother, your hunger becomes more predictable, and your energy levels remain steady throughout the day. These small changes build on each other, creating a foundation for long-term fat loss and overall health. What makes this process truly effective is that it aligns with how your body is designed to function. You're not relying on extreme methods or temporary solutions. Instead, you're supporting your body with the nutrients and timing it needs to operate efficiently. And when your body is functioning at its best, fat loss becomes less of a struggle and more of a natural outcome of a well-supported system. At the end of the day, the real message here is simple but powerful. Fat loss is not just about cutting calories, punishing yourself with strict diets, or constantly fighting hunger. It's about understanding how your body actually works and learning how to support it instead of going against it. When you shift your focus toward protein and the role it plays inside your body, everything begins to make more sense. You're no longer guessing or relying on short-term solutions. You're making choices that directly influence your hormones, your metabolism, and your ability to burn fat naturally. What makes this approach so effective is that it doesn't rely on extreme discipline or unrealistic routines. Instead, it creates an environment inside your body where fat loss becomes easier, more stable, and more sustainable. Your hunger becomes more controlled, your energy levels stay consistent, and your cravings begin to fade. You stop feeling like you're constantly starting over, and instead, you begin building momentum that carries you forward day by day. The foods you choose are no longer just about taste or convenience. They become tools that help your body function better. Every time you include the right type of protein, you're sending signals that support fat burning, muscle preservation, and overall balance. And over time, these small, consistent actions lead to noticeable changes, not just in how you look, but in how you feel and perform in your daily life. This is where true transformation happens, not through drastic changes overnight, but through steady, intentional habits that align with your body's natural design. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to do everything at once. All it takes is starting with one simple change, staying consistent and allowing your body the time it needs to respond. Because once your internal system is working with you instead of against you, the journey becomes less about struggle and more about progress. And that's when lasting results finally begin to take shape. Start small, stay consistent, and let your body do what it was always designed to do.